Firefighters on the western slope are working day in and day out on those large fires burning in Rio Blanco County. More than 1,000 first responders are stationed there battling the Lee and Elk Fires. Tonight, the Elk Fire is now fully contained and containment on the Lee Fire is up to 60%. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. I'm Mark Salinger. Firefighters have made some serious progress on containing the Lee Fire and stopping its growth. It's on the cusp of becoming the third largest fire in the history of Colorado. Now News reporter Rachel Krause joins us this evening. And Rachel, there's a team close by keeping an eye on those firefighters.
Yeah, Wildland paramedics are out with crews ready to jump in should a firefighter get hurt. Hot weather this week may make that fight a little bit more challenging.
It's just massive.
For the past week, Logan Opolinski has made Meeker his home base, there to protect firefighters as the Lee Fire grows.
I mean, it's expanded. I think it was around 50,000 acres when I got here, and it's now over 120, maybe 130. So it's more than doubled since I've been here.
At Denver Health, he's a paramedic. Here in Meeker, he's in the field as a wildland paramedic, ready for anything.
I guess sitting back and waiting for somebody to not hurt themselves, which is a good thing.
Logan says so far, wildland paramedics are seeing small injuries.
But then there's also like the electrolyte derangements, the dehydrations, the overheating. It is hot. Those issues kind of persist and are always prevalent.
Heat that has the potential to make the biggest fire Logan's seen even worse.
This one's definitely the biggest. I mean, I think we're in the top 5 in Colorado history.
It's going to be a tough week.
Weather Impact Team meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen says hot conditions have made it even tougher to fight the Lee Fire.
11 o'clock, noon, you can start to see the fire come back to life. Winds regardless. It's the heat.
Hot days also taking a toll on the 1,100 firefighters working around the clock.
Heat exhaustion, you lose your energy very quickly, and these guys are working very long hours, a lot of manual labor involved, so they get tired very quick. So heat exhaustion is a very serious risk for them. This week, in that fire zone, they'll be in the 90s, middle to low 90s for about 4 to 5 days.
Still, Logan has faith.
Over the last couple of days, I think they've made some really good steps to get it under control.
Until it is, he'll be there, ready to care for the men and women putting the fire out, hoping he won't be needed.
Yeah, it's good to have the skills. It's not great to use them.
A change in the weather this upcoming weekend may bring much needed relief for the western slope. A break from the hot, dry weather and the wind. First responders are hopeful it'll help them to get the Lee Fire fully contained. Rachel Krause, 9 News.
Tonight, deputies have arrested 2 men accused of starting the Oak Fire. The fire started just west of Pagosa Springs 1 week ago today. The Archuleta County Sheriff's Office says the 2 men illegally started a fire in a barrel when it quickly spread throughout the subdivision, forcing evacuations. The fire burned 75 acres before firefighters could get it fully contained. Those men now facing several arson charges. Turning now to the weather, another hot night here in Denver after another hot day with a high in the 90s. If you're not a fan of the heat, bad news. The 90s aren't going anywhere this week, at least not for now. Meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen joining us again this evening. Corey, we have to get through a couple more days of these hot temperatures before a bit of a cool down arrives.
Yeah, a bit of a cool down. So just looking forward to next weekend, we haven't had more than 4 days with high temperatures in the 80s here in Denver since the beginning of June. And it looks like that is what we have on the other end of this little heat wave. So when you're going through it this week, that's what you can have in the back of your mind. Right now in downtown Denver, pretty comfortable, 77 degrees, 71 out at Denver International Airport. This is what your day looks like in Denver tomorrow. Lots of sunshine early on, getting the temperatures up to about 92 with afternoon clouds. You'll see the storms in the area, but most of us will stay dry. Maybe the south and east metro could get a little rain tomorrow. Temperatures 92 in Denver, a little bit warmer up on the northern Front Range. Hot on the western slope with dry conditions. This is the next 3 days in Denver, 92, 94, 96, and Thursday is going to be the hottest, the peak of this heat wave. I'll talk about that stuff coming up in the full forecast. Mark?
Corey, thank you. Well, we've been feeling that heat for a while here in Colorado. Not a great time to send your kids back to school when the classrooms don't have air conditioning. Poudre School District up in northern Colorado is going to be ending classes early for a second straight week because of that heat. The district says they'll be dismissing most students about 2 hours early all week long. These are the schools on your screen right now that the district says will have early releases. However, if forecasted temperatures drop below 90 degrees, then all schools will operate on a normal schedule. District leaders say they will reevaluate that forecast on Wednesday to see if they need to make any changes to that plan. Tomorrow also marks the first day of school for kids here in Denver. And Boulder, beware, the students are moving back into CU as ready. Get ready for all that traffic around campus. We've got you covered on all things back to school on 9 News Morning, starting tomorrow at 4:30 a.m. Loveland police say they are no longer allowing Border Patrol access to the data collected by the city's flocked license plate cameras. This comes after 9 News obtained documents showing Loveland police had shared access to that data with Border Patrol as recently as just last week. Loveland's police chief posted online today saying that Flock had assured them that federal agencies no longer had access to the cameras. It was that records request for information from 9 News that alerted Loveland police that Border Patrol did indeed have access. This weekend, a spokesperson for the Denver mayor's office says Denver police has revoked Loveland police's access to Denver's Flock data while they investigate any agreement between Loveland and Border Patrol. Loveland's police chief called the Flock cameras instrumental in solving crimes and unparalleled for national communication. He went on to say that if any agency chooses to remove the department from the network, that's their decision that they're free to make. New tonight, we're learning more than a dozen people are indicted on serious charges ranging from gun and drug charges to sex trafficking and even conspiracy to commit murder for hire. According to those court documents obtained by 9 News, some of these people have ties to the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. 9 News reporter Angeline McCall has spent the day combing through those charges. And Angeline, you have those new details for us tonight.
We're actually expected to learn more details tomorrow, Mark, in a news conference, but we've garnered a lot just from these court documents detailing the allegations and some of these charges. In newly unsealed court documents obtained by 9 News, more than 100 pages detail how undercover informants helped gather evidence across the Denver metro against more than a dozen men involved in firearm trafficking, sex trafficking, and selling drugs. The informants were able to purchase multiple guns in an attempt to transport the firearms to Mexico and sell the firearms for profit to individuals in Mexico. The documents detail firearm and drug purchases from late 2024 through March 2025. The documents make multiple mentions of locations where we know ICE conducted raids earlier this year, including the Ivy Crossing apartments in Denver. In exchanges and conversations, the men would go so far as to say they would be willing to engage in acts of violence for payment. In other court documents filed, one man advised he would be willing to kill people, asking, "If we bring back their heads, how much would you pay us?" The suspects also showed photos of women who were available for sex trafficking activities. The men involved are now facing charges for various crimes, ranging from drug and firearm offenses to conspiracy to commit murder for hire. There are more than 20 different suspects named in these unsealed affidavits, and those documents specify 2 of them who have direct ties to Tren de Aragua. Perhaps we'll learn more tomorrow if they believe others are also connected. In the studio, Angela McCall, 9 News.
Also happening tomorrow, the city of Denver will begin laying off an unknown number of people. Even the night before these layoffs begin, the mayor's office still hasn't said exactly how many people will lose their jobs and from which departments. Denver Mayor Mike Johnston has a $250 million budget deficit to answer to over the next 2 years. He said previously that all layoff notifications will happen over a 1-week period. That starts tomorrow. But right now, employees and city council members just want the answer to how many people will actually lose their jobs.
The mayor should have to answer to the folks who are going to be impacted by this. And I can't atone for that. That's the work that the mayor and his administration has to both own and lead in. That's what leadership is.
According to the city, laid off employees will receive 30 days of paid leave and then severance packages based on how much time they've worked with the city. Colorado State Patrol says a driver is in custody after driving into the patio of a sports bar just after midnight. Happened at the Ugly Dog Sports Cafe on Cortez Street, just west of I-25 and Highway 36. CSP says 4 people were hurt, 3 taken to the hospital, 1 with critical injuries. The Adams County Sheriff's Office says alcohol is suspected to be a factor in this crash, but of course the investigation is ongoing. The driver, a 22-year-old, was arrested on suspicion of multiple counts of vehicular assault. Nearly half a century later, a Commerce City man is back in possession of a sentimental gift that he thought he'd never see again. 44 years ago, Jerry Cooper and his wife Sherry left their Commerce City home for a trip to Disney World. That trip, though, was cut short by a call letting them know that someone had broken into their house. The thieves broke into the gun case and stole a number of pistols and rifles, all handed down through the family for several generations. They also took a new rifle that Sherry bought him for Christmas. The thieves were never found, and Jerry thought he'd never get a hand on any of those weapons once again. But then this year, he got a call from the Commerce City Police Department about a rifle that someone tried to sell at a pawn shop in North Dakota. A rifle that took a new meaning when Sherry passed in 2015.
I was glad to get it back. It's sentimental because, like I say, she's gone now, and now I got the gun back. So I probably never used it for anything, but I got it anyway. So it's good to have it back.
Yeah, 44 years later, you're probably not banking on that coming back. Jerry's planning on passing that rifle down to one of his kids, ensuring his late wife's gift stays within the family.